Hi, my name is Daniel Carter of the agency Assertive. Now I want to talk about bounce rate because bounce rate is one of those things that quite often is misunderstood or misinterpreted. When people talk about bounce rate, they always talk about it in the sense that a higher bounce rate is a negative thing and that having a high bounce rate on your website is damaging or an indicator of poor quality or landing page issues. But I'll put that misconception to rest, considering that most of the time bounce rate is completely reliant on the niche that you're in and the kind of website that you have. There is no uniform acceptable bounce rate, and bounce rates vary from niche to niche, from e-commerce and retail, which tend to have lower bounce rates, up until sites like financial calculators, which tend to have very high bounce rates. Bounce rates are relative to the niche, the keyword that you're searching for, the website type that you own. There is a clear and very simple example that we can do here, and you can do this search yourself, going to Google UK and doing a search for VAT calculator. Now the number one website that comes up is vatcalculator.co.uk. Now given that it's an exact match domain, don't read into that too much. Now I know that this website has a 100% bounce rate and it doesn't have a long session duration either. Now, a common logic for some SEOs would be that 100% bounce rate is completely unacceptable and that you need to change your landing page or you'll never do well. Well, this site has ranked consistently for more than 8 years with no backlink development, with almost no work done to it. It has remained there for 8 years and it has a 100% bounce rate. So why does it rank with such a high bounce rate? Well, this all comes back to a little thing called search intent and result pogoing. What's happening is that someone is searching in Google for a VAT calculator. They're clicking on the first result, which is vatcalculator.co.uk. They're using the VAT calculator to calculate how much VAT they owe, and then that's the end of their journey. So when they bounce from the website, they don't return to Google because they're not going to click back in their browser, go back to the search results and go to another VAT calculator. So this site effectively always ends the user journey, and once Google sees that the visitors are going into this site and not returning, that is the strongest quality indicator. So bounce rate is subjective. If you had a high bounce rate and you ran a holiday website, a cottage website, a bank website, an e-commerce site selling shoes or trainers or apparel, then your bounce rate is something to be more concerned about. So what you should be looking for is relative bounce rate association, or a baseline bounce rate. Now, it varies across lots of different niches. You can look it up using SEMrush. SEMrush did a study of over 100 SEO factors, and what they also looked at is bounce rates across different niches. Neil Patel also did the same thing, looking at how the common baseline bounce rates vary between. But what you should always aim to achieve for is a bounce rate of less than 50%, given if you're in a retail or a commerce or generally a consumer industry or marketplace. Anything above 50% is maybe something you should look into. But remember, don't take that out of context. If you write a blog on your website and that blog generates organic traffic, that's also likely to have a very high bounce rate because a blog is there for a single use piece of information before the user leaves. So remember, bounce rate has to be relative. It's relative. It's not a fixed thing that you have to obsess about getting the lowest possible bounce rate. Thank you.